15 years, Bitcoin has gone from merely an idea posted anonymously on an internet message board to being the 9th most valuable asset anywhere in the world. Can you believe that? Is that right? That's a big deal.
Trump spoke at the Bitcoin conference and said some interesting things that got the crowds cheering, but to me, it was a bit of a disappointment. But first, let's look at some of the things that were actually great for altcoins. So I'm going to show you guys a short clip and then give our analysis and thoughts on it.
On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman.
Number one, he promised to fire Gary Gensler from the SEC on day one. And I don't think Trump realized how much people don't like him because of how much he's been pushing down crypto over the past few years.
Wow. I didn't know he was that unpopular.
But guess what? Trump or any other president will not have the right to fire the head of the SEC unless he can find evidence of gross misconduct.
Let me say it again. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler. Whoa.
So he cannot just fire Gary Gensler unless he has a very good reason. And if he does do it without a good reason, then this would become a big political issue. And it would come down to, can Trump control both the Congress and Senate? The more likely scenario in question is, can Trump get Gary Gensler to cooperate and loosen up on his crypto regulations?
A lot of things change. As president, I will immediately shut down Operation Choke Point 2.0.
Number two, he wants to stop the Operation Choke Point 2.0, which cuts off crypto to banking services like the US did to the weed industry.
Upon taking office, I will immediately appoint a Bitcoin and Crypto Presidential Advisory Council.
Number three, form a Crypto Presidential Advisory Council within 100 days that would create fair rules for crypto.
We will have regulations, but from now on, the rules will be written by people who love your industry, not hate your industry, people that want to make it clear and simple, straightforward and fair.
And I'm sure Elon Musk or JD Vance would want to be on this advisory council, which could be a recipe for disaster.
People that want to see your industry thrive, not dive.
Imagine forming a banking presidential advisory council and then letting the big banks be the head of this council and write their own rules and govern themselves. This is a grade A comedy, but I have to say that this is very bullish on altcoins, because if this council was only for Bitcoin, then why would you need industry experts to speak on it?
To keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the US government currently holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%. I hope you do well, please.
Number four, he will stop the US government from selling confiscated Bitcoin, such as the Silk Road money, which recently got transferred around that scared a lot of people.
This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile.
Now to get into the negatives. Trump stopped short of promising a 1 million Bitcoin purchase for reserves as everyone expected from the rumors. And did you catch at the end of Trump's speech when he said, "Have a good time with your Bitcoin and your crypto and everything else you're playing with"? This guy is not serious about crypto, and he is not as dumb as we thought. He knew all along that Bitcoin is a scam against the US dollar.
Have a good time with your Bitcoin and your crypto and everything else that you're playing with.
We all want Bitcoin and crypto to pump, but Trump realizes if he officially promotes a Bitcoin and says a reserve, then a lot of money leaves the US bond market and the US Treasury debt could collapse. It's obvious he's pumping crypto for votes, and he is smart enough to know when to stop. RFK Jr., for example, promised to buy 500 Bitcoins per day until we reach 4 million Bitcoins in reserves. This would tank the US Treasury, the US dollar, and the US military. All of these three are closely tied together, as we explained in detail in our trading community. And if you want to know which crypto coins we think would do well under Trump's crypto council, be sure to tune into our VIP or Diamond membership. Alright, enough plugging of our community, let's head into the next topic, the Ethereum ETF update. So far, the Grayscale ETHE ETF has been dumping quite fast because the ETHE almost has no discount to the real ETH price. So when we look at the first 4 days of the ETH ETF, We have seen that Grayscale is dumping 350 to 480 million of ETH per day, and that is like 5% of the entire funds because they have about 7.8 billion in total. So that was 20% of their ETHE all dumped within just the last week. Keep in mind that all of the ETHE will not be dumped. Some of them will want to hold on to it. So if we had to make a guess, then we can say about 70 to 80% of it will be dumped onto the market within the next 2 weeks. And that is an insanely fast dump because Grayscale GBTC, their Bitcoin ETF, has been selling since January 10th and they are still not finished. To put that into perspective, ETH is a $400 billion asset, and if 6 billion was sold onto the market in the next 2 weeks, if they kept up this rate of selling, then that would be about 1.5% of the total ETH supply. Is this a big worry to you? Say for example, Solana announced they will have a 1.5% VC unlock in the next 2 weeks. Would you be freaked out by this? Yes, the market would tank momentarily, but then it would find support and then go up again, because coins like Solana, BNB, etc. all have 3 to 5 or some cases 8 to 10% unlocks every few months. So ETH is experiencing a lot of selling pressure from the Grayscale ETHE ETF. And we expect this selling to be done. Alright guys, last plug, if you want to see our Bitcoin analysis, including 2 new indicators that we just reviewed, then be sure to tune into our trading community.
You are the modern day Edisons and Wright brothers and Carnegies and Henry Fords, and what you do in your lifetime stands a chance to outlive us all and inspire humanity for generations to come.